I found an old picture of myself in a forgotten book on a sunny morning. The smile, frozen in time, made me think about who I was at that very moment and who I am now. As Socrates said, "Know thyself." But how many of us really go on this deep journey? Surprisingly, 80% of people think they know themselves well, but only a small percentage really know themselves to the core. I want you to look at yourself without the social masks and expectations that cover you. What will you learn about yourself today? Let's talk about this in the video, so make sure you subscribe to keep going on this trip with us. Being self-aware. Have you ever thought about why, even though we are the main characters in our lives, we sometimes feel lost when we face the bad guys? Today, we will show you how self-awareness can help you find your way on this journey. Knowing yourself is like having a map in a place you don't know. When you know yourself, you can see both your strengths and weaknesses, transforming problems into steps that will help you grow. Being able to tell when someone's negative comment doesn't show who you are but who they choose to be is an important skill. Introspection is a journey to the center of your being, not to separate yourself but to become stronger. Building bridges with others. It's like when you go deep inside, you come out with a shield that can reflect other people's negativity without letting it enter your own being. To practice this art, you should constantly reflect on it, making it a habit like breathing or drinking water. Each challenging situation be an invitation to ask yourself, what does this teach me about myself? By doing so, you not only disarm toxic people but also pave the way for wiser decisions. Now look around. You see each interaction as an opportunity to practice this self-awareness, for in the end, the greatest victory is over. Oneself achieving a state of peace and control that no one can disturb. And remember on this journey of self-awareness, each step you take lights the way for others to find theirs. 2. Forgiveness and memory. In our journey through life, we encounter moments of choice, emotional crossroads that define not only who we are but who we will become. To talk about forgiveness and memory is to navigate these often turbulent waters in search of a safe harbor, called inner peace. But how do we maintain this delicate balance between forgiving and not forgetting? Forgiving doesn't mean erasing the memories, it means redefining our relationship with them. Imagine yourself as a sculptor. Each experience, good or bad, is a rough block of marble. Forgiveness is the tool that lets us make beauty out of pain, but remembering keeps us from cutting our fingers in the process. Think about this. When we forgive, we make room in our hearts for new connections, healthier relationships that grow in the rich soil of understanding and empathy. But when we remember, we build a fence around this garden, not to keep other people out, but to protect the young plants from past storms. The most beautiful flower in this garden is resilience. It grows because of problems, not because of them. It teaches us something. Remembering how much we loved winter teaches us to enjoy spring. The healthiest relationships aren't the ones where there are no fights, but the ones where we've learned to dance in the rain. As you walk this path, keep in mind that to forgive is to open the door to the future, and to remember is to keep the key. It's not about living in the past, but about learning from it. Forgetting things is a part of life, but remembering things is also a part of building a better tomorrow. I want you to think about how this balance shows up in your life. How can you use forgiveness to make room for new experiences while still letting memories serve as guardians of your growth? Now go forward with confidence. Use your foresight as wings to fly high, and your memories as roots to stay grounded. In the end, this balance is what makes us whole, allowing us to have deeply satisfying relationships and build the strength that always leads to emotional stability. It takes more than just knowing how to swim to get through the rough sea of human interactions. Being around toxic people is like being in water with harmful currents moving through it. Emotional stability is key to navigating these waters without getting swept away by the current. But how can someone stay calm and balanced in this tough situation? The answer lies in the power of mindfulness and the effectiveness of stress management. Imagine that your mind is a huge ocean. The waves on the surface are your feelings, changing with the wind. But below the surface, where it seems rough, there is a place of deep peace, not shaking. Mindfulness is the jump that gets you there. To practice, you have to learn how to breathe under the waves so you can see the storm without being sucked into it. Mindfulness reminds you that you are not your emotions. You are the vast, unchanging sky through which they pass. By practicing this awareness, you build mental strength, an invisible wall that toxic people can't get through. Managing stress is like having a compass in the ocean. Techniques like deep breathing, positive visualization, and regular physical activity are the coordinates that help us get back on track, even when currents try to pull us off course. They teach us to spot the signs of a storm and get to safety before the waves get too big. It's not easy to become emotionally stable, but it is incredibly freeing. It's like building an internal lighthouse that will guide you back to calm no matter how dark the night is. And more than that, it's discovering that you have an immense power of regeneration and peace. So remember, when you're around toxic people, don't try to calm the storm. Calm yourself first. The sea will settle on its own. Setting limits. Have you noticed that we feel stressed out sometimes because we don't say no when we need to? Setting boundaries isn't just about making walls, it's also about making room for better relationships and real happiness. Think of your life as a garden. Boundaries are like fences around your valuable plants. Without them, anyone can come in and step on the flowers. But with fences, you decide who can come in and how they can interact with your space. Have you ever felt tired because you couldn't say no? That's your body telling you that your boundaries are being tested. Setting limits takes courage because it means saying, "This is who I am and this is what I need to feel safe and respected." Not only does this protect you, but it also teaches others to do the same, which builds relationships based on mutual respect. But how can you do this without coming off as distant or rigid? The key is communication. Being honest about your boundaries is not a sign of selfishness, but of self-awareness and self-respect. It means, I value our relationship and want it to be the best it can be for both of us. This not only strengthens the bonds between us, but also creates an atmosphere where everyone feels heard and valued. Now I want you to do something. Think about your boundaries. Are they clear? Remember that every little step counts on the way to better relationships and a safe personal space. Let's start this journey of self-awareness and mutual respect together. Energy intelligence. Have you ever thought that just like we charge our phones every day to make sure they work, we also need to recharge our energy? I'm not just talking about getting enough sleep or going on vacation. I'm talking about energy intelligence, which is the art of controlling your energy in a way that makes others feel calm and encourages healthy behavior. As an example, think about meditation. It's more than just a moment of peace and quiet. It's a powerful tool for recalibrating the mind and body, helping you find your center and give you positive energy. Have you ever noticed how a simple meditation session can change your day, making it more peaceful and productive? Similarly, the food we eat can be like the fuel that makes our bodies work better. A healthy, well-balanced diet full of nutrients not only feeds the body, but also the mind, which directly affects our ability to stay calm and make smart choices. But here's an insight. Managing your own energy isn't just about doing things for yourself. It's also about knowing how your energy affects others and how you can make the world a better place. Have you ever noticed how someone who is calm and in control can make the whole room feel better? That's the power of energy management. Adding things like meditation and mindful eating to your routine can make a big difference. Are you ready to start recharging your energy in a smart way and change the world for the better? If you're enjoying this, leave a comment and a like to help this video reach more people, and don't forget to subscribe. Focus on goals. On our daily path to success and personal fulfillment, one skill stands out as essential: the ability to stay focused on our goals. Trust me, it's not just about having a list of goals. It's about having the inner strength to stay on track, especially when we face problems or people who try to derail us, whether on purpose or not. This is where emotional intelligence comes in. People with high emotional intelligence have our true superpower. They know that the people and things around them can either motivate them or demotivate them. One way they do this is by being self-aware and understanding how their emotions affect their actions. This deep understanding helps them stay calm and focused even when they are around negative people and things. Also, empathy, which is another part of emotional intelligence, helps people understand why other people do the things they do without letting those things affect their own emotions. Balance. These people use empathy to keep their cool instead of getting caught up in other people's problems. They do this to protect themselves and keep their goals in mind. But how does this work in real life? Let's make things easier. Think of your goal as a lighthouse on the horizon. The waves and storms are the distractions and toxic people that come up along the way. With your emotional intelligence as your internal compass, you can find your way through these rough waters without losing sight of your lighthouse by adjusting the sails of your actions and reactions to stay on course. Now, I want you to think about what lighthouses you are looking for and how the waves have tried to steer you off course. Remember that success and happiness aren't just about reaching your goals. They're also about the journey you take to get there, facing and getting past challenges with emotional intelligence and resilience. So stay focused, keep your energy up, and keep moving forward. Your true power lies within you. Take charge of your life with the wisdom of the greatest philosophers ever. In the 21st century, Stoicism is your roadmap to strength, happiness, and success. Turn problems into successes. Turning stress into strength. Change uncertainty into clarity. If you want to live a happy and successful life, as we go through life, we face challenges and problems that seem impossible to overcome. These tests our strength, but no matter how much we believe we can get through them on our own, there is one truth we can't ignore. We all need help. The journey is lighter and more meaningful when shared with friends, family, or professionals who can lend a hand, offer comfort, or give us a different point of view. Imagine you're lost in a maze by yourself, trying to find your way through paths that lead to nowhere. Now imagine you have a drone that can see the maze from above. This drone represents the people who are there for you, giving you a view that you can't get from being stuck in the maze. Friends and family may not have all the answers, but just listening and sharing experiences can help you find your way. Can shed light on paths that weren't there before, and when it comes to emotional or mental problems, the help of professionals can be just what we need. Go through thick, dark forests. Psychologists, therapists, and counselors are like seasoned explorers who know the best ways to get around in the mind jungle and where the secret traps are. It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's a sign of strength to understand that we are social beings who are connected and that our ability to grow and overcome problems grows exponentially as we do. So, when we are willing to accept help, other people's ideas and experiences are like puzzle pieces that, when put together, can help us finish the picture we are trying to paint. So the next time you are facing a problem, remember that you don't have to do it by yourself. Reach out and talk about your problems. The different points of view and motivational support from those around you can help you find new ways of doing things. Together, we are stronger, smarter, and better able to control our negative self-talk. You know, that voice inside our heads that's always ready to point out our flaws and fears. Negative self-talk can get in the way of our health and personal growth, but with the right tools, we can turn this critic into an ally who helps us feel good about ourselves and lowers our anxiety. First, let's talk about reframing our thoughts. Consider that each bad thought is like a dark cloud in your mind's sky. Changing the way you think about these things is like looking for the good in bad things. For example, instead of thinking, "I'll never get this right," we can say, "I'm facing challenges, but I'm learning and growing with each one. This shift in perspective not only relieves stress, but also creates room for growth and learning. Being fully present in the moment and observing our thoughts and feelings without judging them is another powerful technique. This is especially helpful when we are caught up in a negative spiral. Being mindful helps us see our thoughts as fleeting clouds, not as absolute truths. From this point of view, we can choose which thoughts are worth focusing on and which ones we can let go of. Lastly, saying thank you 3 times a day can help you stop talking badly to yourself. This simple act can change your focus from what's missing in your life to what's abundant, leading to a happier, healthier life. If your internal dialogue becomes critical, ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, it's time to change the subject. Changing negative self-talk doesn't happen overnight, but with practice and patience, you can turn this inner critic into a motivational coach. Remember that every step you take in the right direction is a reason to celebrate. In a world that often seems to be full of problems, this is a way of thinking that can help. The ability to keep a solution-focused mindset can be your golden compass. This is a way of thinking that doesn't dwell on problems and obstacles, but instead looks for workable solutions. This way of thinking not only makes us stronger when bad things happen, but it also gives us the tools to use the power of creativity, flexibility, and teamwork. Imagine you are a navigator on rough seas. The high waves and strong winds are trying to throw you off course. In this case, taking a solution-focused approach is like adjusting the sails and the helm to make the most of the wind's force, turning problems into chances to move forward. On this journey, creativity is your compass. It helps you see beyond common solutions and find new paths and opportunities where others see dead ends. When we're having a problem, it's easy to get stuck in the way we've always done things, but when we can think outside the box, we often find the answers we're looking for. Being able to adapt is what drives you. In a world that is always changing, it is important to be able to adapt and shape yourself to new situations. This means being willing to learn, change, and sometimes accept that the first solution that comes to mind might not be the best. Adaptability is about going with the changes instead of fighting them. Finally, cooperation is the key to navigating many issues that are too complicated to be solved alone. We can find better and more long-lasting solutions if we work together with others and share our knowledge, skills, and points of view. Cooperation shows how important each person is and how, as a whole, we can achieve more than the sum of our parts. Now, I want you to think about this. When you have a problem, do you first focus on the problems or look for solutions? Remember that every problem is a chance to learn, grow, and come up with new ideas. Keep your compass pointed toward solutions. Be creative and flexible with how you change your sails, and remember that we are stronger together, so there is no storm that can't be taken care of. Avoid arguments that aren't necessary. Sometimes navigating the complicated world of human interactions can lead us to fights that aren't necessary, especially when they involve people whose energy seems to drain rather than enrich us. However, if we follow some good strategies, we can avoid these storms. Keeping our inner peace and making sure our relationships stay peaceful. First, focusing on what's the same instead of what's different can help us feel calmer. Waters. Focusing on what we share with others builds a foundation of mutual understanding. This doesn't mean ignoring our differences or giving up our values, but rather finding common ground that can be the basis for a productive conversation. Remember that it's easier to build bridges when we have a strong base. Another important skill is knowing when to pull back. It's important to know how to tell when a conversation is going in the wrong direction. If you think the conversation isn't going to lead to anything useful, it's time to gracefully step back. This isn't a sign of defeat, but of emotional intelligence and self-preservation. As the saying goes, pick your battles. This is a great example of that. Adding questions instead of statements is also a great way to ease tensions. Instead of telling someone they're wrong, ask them, "Can you explain your point of view better to me?" This will lead to more thought and conversation. This shows that you are willing to understand the other side and can turn an argument into a useful discussion of ideas. Along with these strategies, it's always helpful to show empathy and patience, remembering that everyone has their own problems and points of view. By putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, even if we don't agree, we can build a deeper understanding that goes beyond short-term disagreements. It takes skill and care to get through the waters of human communication, but if we have the right tools, we can avoid many of the storms that come our way. Remember that true strength is being able to stay calm and clear even when things are going crazy. Find out about fake friendliness. Finding signs of fake friendliness is like figuring out a secret code in the huge world of how people interact with each other. Being able to tell when someone is just being friendly or if they have ulterior motives can keep you safe from being manipulated and help you build more genuine and meaningful relationships. Here are some tools to help you break this code. Body language can show you what someone really wants. If someone smiles but doesn't reach your eyes or avoids eye contact, it could mean that the friendliness they are showing isn't completely sincere. Just think about the difference between a real smile that lights you up and a fake one. The whole face, and sometimes the whole body, and a forced smile that only covers the lips. If you learn to read these signs, you can get important information about the real nature of the interaction. Tone of voice can also give you important information. Sincere cordiality is usually accompanied by a warm, welcoming, and consistent tone of voice. On the other hand, false cordiality can show up as an overly sweet tone that doesn't seem appropriate for the situation, or sudden changes in tone that don't fit with the natural flow of the conversation. Pay attention to how well the two match up. Trustworthy people tend to be consistent in what they do and how they treat others, no matter what. A red flag could be someone whose friendliness changes a lot, or who seems picky about who is around or what they can get out of the relationship. Finally, trust your gut. If you feel uncomfortable or think that someone's friendliness isn't real, pay attention to these feelings. They are your subconscious picking up on subtleties that your conscious mind might not notice right away. Protecting yourself from fake friendliness doesn't mean shutting yourself off from new relationships. It means opening yourself up to more real experiences. Dealing with toxic people can be challenging, but applying principles from Stoic philosophy can provide valuable guidance. Here are 11 smart ways to deal with toxic people, infused with Stoic wisdom. Recognize their behavior. Understand that toxic behavior stems from the other person's internal issues and does not reflect your worth or values. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. Maintain emotional distance. Stoicism emphasizes maintaining equanimity in the face of adversity. Practice emotional detachment from toxic individuals to prevent their negativity from affecting your inner peace. Set boundaries. Clearly define boundaries to protect yourself from toxic behavior. Stoics emphasize the importance of maintaining personal integrity and self-respect, which can be achieved through assertively communicating and upholding boundaries. Practice empathy. While it's crucial to protect yourself, practicing empathy can help you understand the root causes of the other person's toxicity. Stoicism encourages compassion and understanding towards others, even when they behave poorly. Focus on virtue. Stoicism prioritizes cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stay true to your values and focus on virtuous actions, regardless of how others behave. Maintain perspective. Toxic people often thrive on drama and negativity. Stoicism teaches us to maintain perspective and not let temporary setbacks or conflicts overshadow the bigger picture of our lives. Practice mindfulness. Cultivate mindfulness to stay grounded and present in the moment. Stoic practices like mindfulness meditation can help you maintain clarity of thought and emotional stability when dealing with toxic individuals. Practice self-care. Take care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-care as a means of fulfilling our duties to ourselves and others. Seek support. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, or mentors who align with your values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of community and seeking guidance from wise individuals. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning toxic behavior, but releasing yourself from the burden of resentment and anger. Stoicism teaches us to let go of negative emotions that hinder our growth and inner peace. Focus on what you can control. Finally, focus your energy on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, responses. Stoicism teaches us to accept external events with equanimity and focus on improving ourselves despite the challenges posed by toxic people. By applying these Stoic principles, you can navigate relationships with toxic individuals while maintaining your inner peace and integrity. Remember that dealing with toxicity is ultimately about preserving your well-being and living in alignment with your values.